Well, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Technia webinar on Apparel PLM for the SMB market, or Hosted Configured PLM in around 90 days. Thanks for joining. Just as a logistics note, we are recording this webinar for those that did not have a chance to attend today. Okay, so of course, there's always some legal disclaimers involved, and I'm sure that everyone has seen these type of things before, so we won't dwell on anything here. My name is Jim Wilson, and I'm responsible for project execution here at Technia USA. As shown, I've been working in this space for the past 20 years, both as a consultant and as an internal employee for a large industrial conglomerate. So I know both sides of the table. My webcast partner in crime is Joji Matthew, also a PLM consultant for many years. Both Joji and I worked together at Matrix One and MDS, and now we're both working for Technia. Our message today is about a new market offering here at Technia, a hosted, configured PLM solution for the SMB audience. During our time here this afternoon, we will be introducing our company, describing our solution coverage, and explaining our target configurations. Then we will describe our implementation methodology, a typical schedule, and also important, the time impact on your organization. We will finish with some investment ranges, review some hosting options, next steps, and time permitting, a block of time for Q&A. So let's get started. First, a little bit about Technia. Technia is part of the Adnode Group, a collection of consulting and technology companies focused on providing strategic and tactical IT solutions that maximize productivity and efficiency for your company. So as you can see, Technia is one of quite a few different companies, and each one has expertise in certain areas. Basically, the company is organized around 4 business areas. Design management, focusing on CAD tools and processes to improve your design efficiency. Process management, focusing on consulting services to improve your business processes. Content management, focusing on public systems, internal websites, and systems like e-commerce that bridge that gap. And then PLM management, focus on managing design data and the management of that data as it matures within your organization. Also within the PLM management space, we also have a company that is a group of consultants that are vendor neutral and provide strategic guidance for companies new to PLM or those considering change. Adnode companies service the technology areas by a combination of software, services, support, and maintenance. This year, we're celebrating our 20th year. As the information suggests, we have a long history of working with many customers across many industries over the past 20 years. Recently, and especially here in the U.S., we have focused on the RFA market and have partnered with many well-known names that implemented our technology. And Joji and I have worked with many of these customers. One of the aspects that we are especially proud of is our long-term commitment to our customers and them to us. There are a number of loyal customers that we've worked with over the years and continue to provide value and guidance. And of course, we are proud of the number of leading consumer goods customers that rely on our technology every day. Excuse me. So why are all these companies interested in Technia? And Technia always works on top of Innovia software. The reason most of these companies work with Technia is due to our Technia Value Components technology. TVCs and our best practice apparel overlays excuse me, are preset based on our experience and work with many RFA companies and are easily configured. The key value that the TVCs provide is a simpler user interface and usability enhancements. For example, the TVCs have the ability to drag and drop files into Innovia. This means you can move a file into Innovia with one mouse action, as opposed to the many clicks that the out-of-the-box Innovia system requires. Simple enhancements like this go a long way to speed up user adoption. Architecturally, this is how the TVCs fit into the Innovia environment. One special feature of the TVCs is how they work with Innovia, but are architected to be isolated and standalone. This means you can update the TVCs easily and independently from your Innovia upgrades, because we do not touch any of the Innovia UI programs. So now that we have introduced how we can deliver based on our technology, let's explore what's included in the package. Technia will deliver a fully functional PM covering the planning, creative design, technical design, costing, and supplier collaboration areas. Joji will be reviewing these areas in detail in a few minutes. Optionally, we can host the system on world-class cloud services. Of course, we will pre-configure the system to your needs based on many years of working with different RFA customers. Joji will also review the configuration areas that we have targeted as part of this package. The package also includes loading of your data. We have the technology to load your data, but in all cases, the customer is responsible for gathering the data and making sure that it's clean and relevant. Of course, we will also provide training on the new system. Near the end of the project, we will transfer the knowledge of the new system to your designated trainer in a train-the-trainer session. And finally, we will provide a set of licenses based on your requirements. One final note, although we are positioning this offering during this webinar as PLM for the SMB, our offering is also relevant for larger enterprises that may be adding smaller divisions or entities to PLM and want to start with the latest technology. So now I'm going to turn this over to Joji to cover the main functionality areas.
Hi, everyone. Able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. As Jim has mentioned, we are covering in the basic PLM aspect for specifically catered for the RFA industry. So the PLM process in a high level we are covering is material development. That includes the material development request and all the aspects of material development. We do the color management. That includes the MCA and all the approval process. We cover the line assortment planning, basically starting from the development plan and also end up in the seasonal plan, then end up in doing the carryover and the new design of the products. We also cover the product development concept, the design. So this involves the bill of material, coloring of the BOM, sizing of the product. Then we also cover the product development and placing. Production, we also do the costing of the garments, which is being planned in the line assortment. Jim, next slide, please. We start with the season. We also support the concept of a seasonless product, and we can have the season products when we are getting into the detailed development styles. We do the carrying over materials, carrying over the new styles, adding new developments. We cover the vendor collaboration, basically generating the cost sheets and collaborating with the suppliers. We also have collaborating in the MCA level, and then we produce the material usage report at the seasonal plan level. Next slide, please. So in the color management, we do it the carryover colors, and then we use the bulk approvals of the MCAs, and the color usage, the vendor collaboration. We support the color management at the season library level and also at the global library level. That is covering all the colors in the system. Next slide, please. Yeah, in the line assortment, we start the seasonal plan. We can carry over the styles, or we can add new styles. Then we have dashboards to monitor the tracking of this. We also track using the buyer-ready indicators. We can map the line assortment based on the channel and the delivery, and go up to the color level. Say that particular color of the garment is available in which channel and what will be the delivery date. Next slide, please. So we start with the style in a seasonal plan. We can add sketches. We do support the latest and greatest Adobe. That means including the Creative Clouds and the Adobe standalone. You can go down to the seasonal plan and check in the files directly from Adobe. We can identify the materials which is being connected to the seasonal plan and add it. Then you can color the BOM. Then we can add the measurement charts and all the grade rules which has been defined that particular type or the garment. And finally, we can produce a tech pack which can be shared across with the suppliers who is going to produce either the sample or the production of the. Next slide, please. Yeah, we can do the RFQ process. We can do the cost sheets. We can supply the sample request. Then we can do the sample tracking. We can even create a sample cost sheet, and we can track the sampling in a dashboard. We can do a fit approval, and we are also working on a quality assurance module, which is in process with other customers, which has been mainly sponsoring this work. Next slide, please.
Okay, thank you, Jyoti, for the main functionality review. Now I'd just like to spend a second and talk about the configuration areas that we have targeted. As you've seen before, we've been working with a lot of different RFA customers. So basically going into this project, when we put together the package, we had already identified what areas typical customer would want to modify or configure. So these configurations are all the types of things that we plan to do during the implementation process. To help you help us with the configurations, we have developed a pre-structured process where we train your team and we hold a design workshop where we will go through each of the areas of functionality and gather any configuration request. And then based on this configuration request, bundle them together, select the highest priority, and implement them within the 3-week window. So now I'm going to turn it back to Joji to discuss these configuration areas.
Thank you, Jim. From the configuration perspective, what we are really is we can add any number of product types, product hierarchy. We can basically modify any of those things. So our forms and all the panels, side panels, etc., have been aware of the changes making. So we won't be doing adding more types or adding more abstract types to the product structure. That can be easily done with a minor configuration. Next slide, please. Then configuring the top panel, adding in additional attributes we needed at the product level, or it need to be at the development style level. That can be easily configured. Next slide, please. So we can add additional status codes and development that can be easily configured part of the initial go live. Next slide, please. And any number of additional attributes you wanted to see when it comes to the line assortment level, and any additional columns you just wanted to add before go live, that can be configured based on the customer requirement. Next slide. Similarly, we want to have the seasonal aspect of the product that can be covered using a development style, so that any number of attributes and other details related to a season product can be added to this particular table. And we can configure the display in a very friendly way. You will have a tiled view, or it's a column-wise view, the tabular view of the structure browser. That can be done. We have a fully configured search filter criteria based on the side panel. For any number of other criteria you wanted to the side panel for searching and filtering the products, that can be configured. So again, the same thing that development style level, filtering additional columns and informations can be configured. Seasonal plan level details, any number of additional attributes or any additional attributes and information you want to know at the seasonal plan level, that can be configured to the top panel, or we can have additional property pages for showing additional details. Configuring additional sample requests, types as needed for the customer, that can be easily configured. Next slide. Adding different costing parameters. For example, if you want to have additional costing elements for arriving at the final landed cost, or you wanted to have different trade terms need to be added. We have supported with almost all the trade terms which has been very commonly used, and if you wanted to add additional parameters to the costing scenarios, that can be easily configured.
We should note, Joji, that you last week presented a webinar on detailed advanced costing, and the URL is shown on the screen here.
Yeah, last week we did a detailed costing webinar that covers both simple costing scenarios and advanced costing for a detailed standard cost situation for multi-products and set type of commonly used scenarios is covered. So if you are interested, we can redo the webcast or webinar, or more deep that can be arranged. So we have out of the box a very detailed tech pack, but many companies have a very uniform way of generating the tech pack and how they have trained their suppliers and factories to use the tech pack. So we can very well configure any additional details which is missing from our out-of-the-box tech pack can be easily accommodated in this engagement. We support the Adobe using a file manager. As I was mentioning earlier, we can support the creative thing. So the Adobe user need not go outside of their Adobe working environment. They can still work in the Adobe, and they can support. They can upload the image and details into the via system. So it is a very friendly, user-friendly, and we can also, it generates the images, thumbnails, which is of high quality, other than using a open source based image generation. Next. And we support the cost sheets in a native Excel format, so that can be ordered and imported out. Any number of additional elements need to be configured for the cost sheet. That can be easily done. And mostly we also supporting a mobile platform for limited functionality like color management and material viewing, and also uploading the images from an inspiration point of view. So the image can be captured and uploaded with the Innovia system. So in addition to have customers demand, we added the tooling for the footwear. Our BOMs are fully supporting the footwear details. In addition to that, we also added a tooling and the amortization piece to the for the footwear customers. So that can be easily extendable in case of the customer needs some additional features and functions on it.
Okay, thank you, Joji.
Thank you, Jim.
So now that we've reviewed the types of configurations and some of our latest technology, let's review how we will work with you. Technia utilizes a set of documented processes defined as the Technia Management System, or TMS. TMS covers the entire company, including HR and environmental policies, as well as the project execution area. We recently had our first audit toward ISO certification, and I'm happy to report that we passed and that the auditors will recommend our certification. So that announcement will be coming in the future. In addition to execution, TMS also covers areas like risk management. On the project execution side, Technia subscribes to the Agile framework. Specifically, we focus on iterative processes. Missed a slide there. We subscribe to the Agile framework. Specifically, we focus on the iterative processes with the main focus on adding value over the needs for reams of paper documentation. Our entire team is Agile certified. Agile has industry standard processes, and we leverage commercial tools that provide the linkages and visibility to support our global team working together. We extend that visibility to the customer so that everything we are doing is completely transparent. You can see more about Agile at scrum.org. That's scrum.org. And here's an example of what's called a sprint, a development cycle, and what happens on each day of the week with each of the different roles. On the bottom part of this slide, you see our commercial tool that we use to manage the Scrum development activities. So we have a very clear view of what's in process, what's in code review, what's in test, and what's ready to deliver. Specific to this offering, this is the process we will be following. We have defined the short project into 6 different phases. These are the same phases that we would use on larger projects, but are condensed specific to this type of package. Please note that there are activities that are owned by Technia, some that are wholly owned by the customer, and some that are shared. If we look at this process in more detail during the project initiation phase, we will start the project, work with your organization on all the logistics, confirm the teams, both ours and the customer, set up all the environments, and train your team members, both in the application and in our Agile methodology. During the PLM solution workshop phase, we will conduct a series of on-site workshops with your team to re-review the application and then capture any needed changes or configurations. Leveraging the Agile framework and the commercial systems that we use, we will document the changes, work with you to prioritize them, and then estimate the time to complete. After the estimates have been updated, we will work with you to determine and confirm the final set of changes and configurations that we will deliver. Of course, the development phase is one of the most important. Here we will follow the Agile process and execute a 3-week planned sprint. The sub-activities of the development sprint are shown in pink. These are the activities that we will be training your team on in the project initialization phase. Once the development configuration is complete, we will begin the verification phase. Here we will package everything together and deliver to the target system. We will review the configurations with the customer team and business users, and will also help you start the testing phase. And we will also prepare the systems for any data loading activities. During testing, the customer might identify some additional configurations that are required or find some issues that need correcting, so we have a finalization phase. This is where we finalize the system and prepare it for go live. Finally, we have a warranty and support phase where the customer can identify any issues that may not have been discovered in the previous activity. On the Technia side, here are the project roles we will utilize. Please note that one person can fulfill multiple roles. You will have a project manager that will manage the overall project and be accountable for project success. We will also have an industry consultant to work with your team during the training and workshops to define and refine your requirements. We will also help during the testing and review of the configurations. We will always have one individual as the technical lead. This person will be responsible for the quality of the delivery and will be involved in the overall development and code reviews. Of course, we will have a development team to complete the configurations. Because our process and internal systems allow us to work together seamlessly, this team could be, and usually is, dispersed around the world. We will also have an infrastructure role to help set up the different environments that are needed. And finally, we will have testers that check the configurations before they are delivered. On the customer side, here are the project roles we require. The most important role on the customer side is the product owner. In the Agile framework, the CPO is responsible for managing the requirements, prioritizing them, and then selecting which ones will be delivered in the development sprint. As part of the project initiation phase, we will train the person we select for this role. A very important role. In most implementations, the customer will have a small core team. This is usually made up of business experts in IT. This is the team that will take the training and be directly involved with the workshops. In addition to the core team, there will be a number of key business users, subject matter experts that will be involved at a part-time level. Of course, we will interact with your IT organization as we build and develop the different environments needed. And if you have a training department, or a designated trainer, we will also work with that individual in a train-the-trainer fashion to transfer the system knowledge to your users. One of the areas we are always sensitive to is the investment and impact on your organization. Each customer is unique, but in general, listed on the slide is the amount of time that will be required for each of the roles I described before. When we get to the investment section of this presentation, I will describe what that means in terms of real dollars. Now I want to spend a few minutes talking about hosting options. Technia has a lot of experience with leveraging the cloud to provide global access and stability for PLM systems. You might want to consider this option if you do not have the different types of resources that a PLM system requires, such as a DBA, PLM, admin, etc., or if you prefer to outsource the system for the first year or so. The Innovia architecture supports a variety of DB options, redundancy options, geographic location options, so we are confident that we can deliver a system that will meet all your requirements. If you do select the hosted option, here are the areas that will be included. For some customers, this makes the most sense. In many cases, a PLM system does not stand alone and needs to be integrated to other systems. To accomplish this easily, we have developed a technology we call the Technia Integration Framework, or TIF. TIF is a platform we've developed over the years to connect the PLM systems, to other supporting systems. It provides a stable, supported system platform that can be configured to your integration needs, and it includes many standard methods. We state that it is 80 to 95% ready for most installations. This framework can also be used to connect PLM to ERP, or even a PLM to PLM connection for those larger enterprises that might have multiple deployments. another look at it. Of course, every customer is unique, but this is the general range of investment required for our solution. Of course, there is an annual maintenance cost for general support and system updates. In addition to the license and implementation cost, we also have a number of options available. Depending on your needs, we can provide a dedicated resource to continue to enhance your system. That role can add new functionality as well as quickly respond to any issues after the warranty period. If you would like us to host your system, there are a lot of options that need to be considered, but in general, there's an initial system setup cost and then an ongoing lease cost. Another option is integration of PLM to other supporting systems, and that integration cost includes the TIF software. And then finally, I want to point out that Technia does have financing options available. I spoke before about respecting the customer's time required for the success of this implementation. We do have a fully detailed process and tasks and have included customer roles in the overall project plan. This slide shows the time investment that the customer will need to consider. Of course, every customer is unique, but I have also included an estimated general burden rate so that you can see the internal investment required. So in summary, why Technia PLM for the small business market? Obviously, we're a global system integrator, and the U.S. team has been focusing on the RFA market for many years. We have proven technology. I want to go back to the TVC components. One thing that I failed to mention but need to stress is that these components are all based on XML configurations. So that's one of the reasons we feel confident we can quickly implement is its configuration instead of programming. And it's industry standard XML. The overlay that we provide has been driven by many customer engagements and refinements. Very quick and fast implementation time, and the Innovia platform, as well as the TVCs, provide a very scalable solution. If we look at the TVC technology from Technia, currently we have almost 350 licenses of TVC technology in place, as well as almost 44,000 licenses to retail footwear apparel customers. So they can't all be wrong about technology. The last slide, I listed our email address. Please feel free to contact us directly if you have any questions. Thank you for attending.